shout out to Hoop Jargon, man. I'm gonna add you to the crew, man. This crew called Hoop Jargon. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority are all Houston people. So that's
shout out to Hoop Jargon. Shout out to Hoop Jargon. What's up, everybody? Your boy Hoop Jargon here with a special episode, man. I ain't plan on doing nothing today. It's my day off. I've been doing streams. Shout out to my boy Flight Sports. Shout out to my boy D Pope. Shout out to King Fuse Lit, Rev, DJ, the whole gang, man. You know, new media in here, man. And so I, had some information that was privy to me with another brother who introduced me into the sports media game, and that's my guy, Richard Walker, man. So we got some big news about the Big 12 Conference. So I got to bring the OG who brought me into this whole little thing about 6-7 years ago. So without further ado, let me bring him up. Rich, what up?
What's up? What it do? Hoop Jargon. Viva la Hoop Jargon.
Yes, sir. Viva la Hoop Jargon, man. And guys, I want to introduce you to Rich, man. This is literally the dude who put me on when I had that blooper reel covering the Texans, covering the Houston Rockets, man. This is the guy that put me on. And his school got some good news, man. And without further ado, Rich, talk to the people,
Yes.
man.
So finally, Cougs fans, our day has come. It is official. U of H will be joining the Big 12 along with Cincinnati, BYU, and Central Florida. So we just got word that they have submitted their applications. They have been approved by the board. It's going to be a quote-unquote vote tomorrow. It's a done deal, y'all. So they're going to finalize it, and they were going to have a press conference on Friday to formally introduce all four of those schools as the new additions to the Big 12, and that's going to be effective June 2023. So we just got word on that. Hot off the press.
Hot off the presses, man. So we're going to get 2 days ahead of it, man, because everybody's going to start putting these videos out. So we get ahead of this. We get exclusive on here on Hoop Jargon.
July 1st, 2023 is when they will start. We even got the date.
So, yeah, man, and that's big news, man, because, the GOAT franchise have exited the Big 12. I had to rub a little dirt, and baby bro coming in. So, Rich, tell the people why you have such an affinity for U of H.
Well, I mean, I'm a Coug by nature, man. That's why, I got my degrees from U of H. I'm U of H bred. But, I mean, I've been rocking with the Cougs since back in the day, man. The Five Slammer Jammer, Clyde and Akeem, and Benny Anders and all them cats, man. So, the Coug is in my blood. So that's just who I am. That's just who I'm always gonna be. But, long overdue. It's kind of like a homecoming of sorts where all you old heads remember we were in the Southwest Conference back in the day.
Yep.
And U of H used to raise some hell back in the day. So now we're gonna be in a position to do that, in a Power 5 conference. So I mean that's big for the program. And from a marketing perspective, from a recruiting perspective, we went to the Final Four last year as it is. So imagine what that's going to do for recruiting for the basketball program. You name it, man. It's across the board. This is big news.
Yeah, it really is, man. And me, shout out to Between the Game Sports, man, in the building. I really, me, I rag on U of H all the time because me being a Houston native, I never really had no love for U of H like that. And you know how I go in the group, man. There's been a lot of debate about, me being a UT fan, about how the Big 12 scared of Houston. They won't put Houston in that. You remember all that, man. So it's just funny to see, UT leaves, but Houston got that opportunity now. So it ain't no excuses. You're in a Power 5 conference now, man. And so
this is what we've been waiting on. This is what we've been waiting on. Huh?
What you say, Rich?
I couldn't hear what you say.
No, I'm saying, what are your expectations going forward, man, with the program being in the Power 5 now?
Well, going forward from football, now we got to put on our big boy pants and deliver, because one of the things that people seem to forget is that of all the I guess you could say Power 6 schools, or all the non-big Power 5 conference schools, U of H has a 7-4 record against Power 5 schools. 7 wins, 4 losses. The 4th loss was against, and this is since 2013, I believe it is. So the past 8, 9, 10 years, it's 7-4 against legitimate ranked power schools. They beat Oklahoma. When they were ranked number 2. They beat Louisville with the Heisman winner Lamar Jackson there. So, they beat ranked schools in Power 5 positions. We're not talking about scrub Power 5 schools like Vanderbilt or some of these crappy schools that just happen to be in a conference that nobody cares about. They beat legitimate programs. So they are now in a position where the head coaching and the recruiters and the scouts can go sit in the living room with their coach and say with their mom and dad for these 3, 4, and 5-star athletes and say, well, now your son can play and be on ESPN or be on the Big 12 network, or even play on New Year's, if they make a bowl game, and they can stay right here in Houston and do it. Because you got to admit, Houston is the football mecca. I don't care what anybody says. Just look around the NFL.
Statement, sir.
Look around the NFL. Look around the NCAA. Look in the Hall of Fame. Look at where these cats came from. They either been through or they're from the H. So this is the hotbed for recruiting, especially in regards to college football. So I think like Coach Yeoman has a famous statement. He said you can swing a dead cat by a tail in the city of Houston in any direction and you hit 5 Division I players. So it is hella talent here in Houston. It's a lot of talent. It always will be talent in Houston. And now some of these young men have the opportunity to stay home and play on Saturday and be on big TV. And now with the addition of the new changes where they can make money off their image, that's something else you need to think about. These guys can now capitalize and monetize themselves, and they can stay home. So it's an even additional incentive. So that Tillman Fertitta, that Mattress Mac and some of these other folks around here with these deep pockets are going to pull out those checkbooks and they're going to sign these sponsorship deals. So that's something else. That's a slight advantage to the home team.
Well, I'll keep it a bean. You don't even have to come with big money. Like, and I'll keep the play. No, I'll say, man, one of my homies I met covering the Big Baller brand Drew League team, cat named EJ, man. He plays for University of Cal Fullerton now. He transferred from Tennessee. And I've got to know him, after covering the team and shit. And so he was, reaching out to me about sponsorship. Like, hey, Hoop Jogging ain't sponsoring nothing right now, baby. But you're a good brother, though. A good young brother. I think he's going to his senior year. But he got like a blue check and stuff. He doing his thing. But man, these local brands, man, you can sponsor these athletes, man. Y'all might want to jump on your regular athletes because it's new. It's new territory right now. They don't know what the going rate is. A rate has not been established. Right. You can't go off of Hersey Miller getting a meal and Mikey Williams getting his 2 mil or whatever he got. That's the upper tier. But you got to understand, it's a lot of opportunity, man. Right. As I'm talking, I'm thinking, I got some athletes. I might need to, chunk my little change for Hoop Jogging sponsorship. But it's a lot of opportunity, man. Hey,
it is a ton. They open the door is completely open, man. Well, the door is completely open in regards to these opportunities. So I'm excited for those young men too. Because you think about all the guys before them that came and made the sacrifices, to their physical and mental. You being an example, to make all those sacrifices, your 20s, 30s, and 40s, that extra ache that you have in the morning when you get out of bed. And
absolutely,
the people who use the free education nonsense are those who never, competed in any type of
absolutely,
actual organized event. They say it's free. There ain't a damn thing free about a student athlete that's participating in, collegiate sports. There's a damn thing that's free about it because you literally don't have time to do anything else. There's no part-time job. There's no hanging out. There's nothing. There's nothing but training, preparation, and repetition. So anybody who says that, tell them I said, tell them to tell their mama I said be quiet because that's just a bunch of hot garbage that people like to talk that never participated in any type of sports at any level. So.
Man, to quote the late great Ernest Walker, SYBAU. Y'all figured out what the Because I'll be damned. Yes. Bruh, yes. I'll be damned you missed practice to go to study hall. Watch you don't have to see your ass. You ain't playing. And you're lucky you still got your scholarship.
Right.
So that free education stuff, that sound cool. apply that to real life and see how that's going to shake out.
And they forget about the fact that these scholarship programs for the nerds who are in science programs and whatever else, some of them are partially funded by the revenue that they generate from athletics. Mm-hmm. So not only are they not getting a free education, they're contributing to the education of others. So, but I'm glad that they have the opportunity to make their money right now, because everybody's not going to go pro. Statistically speaking, the overwhelming majority of them will never, dress or even take a single snap or even get a tryout for a pro team. So
99% are not making
at least, right, exactly. They're able to at least support themselves financially, while they're in school. You got kids walking through the mall with their jersey in the store, and they can't even afford the jersey that they wear on game day that's being sold for $200 with their likeness on it. So, I'm all for that. But this Big 12 thing, adds another level of opportunity for these young men at these schools that are going to go to this level, and I think it's also going to pull the other conferences up. What's left of the AAC is honestly they're going to have to fold, and they're going to probably have to go to Sunbelt or MAC or whatever. Yeah, AAC is done. Yeah,
well,
AAC is
done. Look at SFA now. They was in the Southland when I played there.
Right.
Now they're in the WAC. Like I never would have thought SFA would be WAC.
And I can see them going and like making a conference like with the Southland, for example, and make that conference stronger. So it's gonna push. I think it's gonna push everyone up. I think even some of the HBCU conferences are gonna benefit, not indirectly, from this, because some of those schools are gonna have to find new homes, and they're gonna have to find new matchups and new opponents, and so it's basically putting the collegiate sports into buckets. And I think long term, the entire process is going to benefit from it.
Yeah, well, that's a great point you brought up, because I just made a video about 2 hours ago that the Jackson State FAMU game was the number 2 watch game in college football, period.
Mm-hmm.
Last weekend, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So they only got overshadowed by Notre Dame and Florida State, which is on ABC, which is that's like a family.
They're like the Cowboys of college football.
There you go. So and that's it's different. So they did 7.7 million. That's expected because they don't do football but once a week. ESPN is constantly, and impressively Jackson State did 770K that game. Grambling and who did Grambling play? They played Tennessee State. That one did 315K. Mm-hmm. So people are being exposed to the HBCU brand. Right. So I wonder if it's going to make it elevate the whole. Because
I think it will. I think it's gonna feed the hunger from the sports fans for more college football. The product overall is getting better. I love the NFL, but I'm sorry, the product is watered down right now. People know the difference. They see the passion that these young guys have. They're driven. They're hungry. They want it more. You don't have the prima donna attitudes and the divas and the off the field jackassery and all this other stuff that you have with the NFL. So people are starting to go more towards the college product. So this is a great time to be a college football fan right now.
That's facts, man. That's facts. And so I want to talk a little bit more about the other entrants of the Big 12, because I think UCF is a huge addition too.
Yes.
UCF is the people's champ. For a little minute. So now you can't be the little boy no more. Now you in the trenches now. You're going to play Ohio State. You're going to play Kansas State. You're going to play Iowa State.
Baylor, Tech.
You can't make the excuse no more.
You can't make excuses no more. So, they claim that their undefeated season, which, was basically like the equivalent of a boxer fight in Tijuana, saying that he's the best boxer in the business. But, they can't make their claim anymore. But, if they were to, win the Big 12 legitimately, then, you can make that type of argument. But, that's no longer an issue for them. So that program is, they've been solid. They've been winning. They've been recruiting well. So, they're going to do well. Cincinnati is a team that, very interesting. They played in a bowl game this year, in a New Year's Bowl. And they recruited well also. So I think all these teams are going to greatly benefit from it. And then, thinking outside of football, basketball is going to be off the chain, because we already are pretty much done with the paradigm of the same old schools winning every year. The era of Duke, North Carolina, and UConn, and those schools winning every year, that's over. I think Coach K knows that. That's why he's stepping down. So now you have an even playing field. You have these players with equal access to media and representation and opportunity. So college basketball is going to be insane over the next. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with college basketball, also with the college conference realignments. So that's going to be great.
That's facts, and man. And shout out to AB the hero, man. He played football at Iowa State, man. Hey, AB the man. That's the big ball club, man. So AB, former Big 12 athlete, so he know what it is when we speak.
He know what it is. Yeah,
AB, yeah, man. So I got to link y'all up, man, because I got to know AB over the last year, and Rich, we've been rocking for many years. So I'm gonna try. So y'all know, Rich put me down. I'm gonna try to cover the Rams this year, cover the Chargers,
the USC Trojans and
USC, and then
Trojans.
We'll see.
Maybe the Lakers. We working on it. I mean, if anybody know anybody with the Lakers, tell them to holler at Who Jargon, man.
Yeah, we get it in, man.
A little something. We don't really worry about the Clippers because I think we can round up like 11 guys in a group and beat them. But
I think I could recruit 5 people from my apartment and we but so in all seriousness, man. So I like Cincinnati as an addition too, because Cincinnati reminds me of a top-notch hoe who can't get wifed up, because Cincinnati been in the ACC, they've been the Big East, not the ACC, they've been the Big East, and the Big East was a big conference at one point.
It was right.
That was legit. And then they went to the American Conference, and then they just been a free agent. Top notch.
It's kind of
now they get the most, not the lesser. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Kind of out there.
Yeah, man. So I've seen Cincinnati's. So my second to last year coaching at Prairie View, we played against Cincinnati. We were up 18 at halftime. We lost that game by like 5, and they cheated. And I know it's I'm a guy. I don't make a lot of excuses, but that's when Lance Stevenson was a freshman.
Yeah,
and we lost the game. Big O was at the game. Oscar Robinson, for y'all don't know, he was at the game. He went to Cincy, and I saw their football field. They have a beautiful football field.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's built down into the ground. It's very, very nice. So that's a great addition to the Big 12 family, man. And I want to know, man. So we didn't talk about BYU yet. Brigham Young.
Yeah,
out there with the Mormons, man. What do you think about BYU joining?
But they have a solid football program. They've always had a solid football program. Outside of that, it's going to help them. I guess they're going to have to develop, or put some type of emphasis and focus on, their other programs, like baseball, basketball, and other parts of their athletic programs. But their football programs they've always been solid. They've always been that one team that's like the ugly dude in the bar fight that you really don't want to get into. They can cause you problems. That's been Brigham Young's little moniker. They've had some pretty significant upsets over the years, and they've always been a very highly competitive team. And the kid for New York, that quarterback, I can't recall his name. He's the second pick in the draft. I mean, that's just an example right there.
Zach,
you go to
Zach
Wilson.
Wilson, I believe.
Yeah. So I mean, they've always had talent. It's just they're in a weird position because of where they're located geographically. Nobody wants to go to Utah. Nobody. But they're kind of stuck. But that's going to help them to at least align themselves, because they were kind of floating out there as like a poor man's Notre Dame. Kind of putting together their own. They're not really having a conference. So finally getting aligned with a conference is going to help them too.
Yeah, and I more or less see BYU as that burgeoning Gonzaga situation where you got individual success but not the conference affiliation appropriate to get you to the next level. Because I think BYU, are they still independent?
Yeah. Until now, they'll be a line of conference. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? This has been rumored that BYU was going to join the Big 12 like as much as like 10 years ago. This was rumored back when the alignment shifted when Boise
and when TCU and a couple of others joined. Yeah, they were supposed to be part of that group.
Facts. It's good to see it finally come to fruition, because this was already been a rumor for a minute, and this was coming off of BYU's basketball run with Jimmer Fredette when they had like the whole thing popping. Now BYU not so much anymore. But I think that this is a good look, because you know what's funny? this is why I don't take college sports all the way serious, because that's why I take people who say this is a college, what they say, collegiate athletes, student athletes, because this from an alignment standpoint make no sense when you got Utah, Oklahoma, Iowa, Kansas, Texas, Cincinnati, Ohio. That makes no
sense.
You cover them in every coast.
Right.
It makes no sense from a
Exactly.
standpoint.
Exactly.
So I know it's about money. It's about money. So when people try to say this purity shit, I'm like, no. That's not how this works.
That's why I've always called the NCAA the National Cash Allocation Alliance, because that's all they give a damn about is the money. You haven't figured that out by now, I don't know what to tell you. But that's what they've always been concerned about. They're not concerned about none of this purity crap that people talk about and, we're trying to educate. Look at the graduation rates. Look at the graduation rates for some of these top tier. It seems like the more successful that they are, the lower the graduation rate. So look at some of these programs. You got 65% graduation rate. If you are a dean of a department, at a regular school, non-athletic, and you got 65% graduation, you get fired. But these folks get $10 million a year savings. I'm sorry, did I say that a lot?
Hey, man, I'm good with that, man. So with stories like Ben Simmons say he went to school one semester because he knew the second semester he gonna flunk out, but he gonna be gone before. Good for you, brother. You too good for that program, which he was. He did LSU a solid going there. Because here's the deal, man. Me, I got a chance to hang with LeVar Ball. And me and him talked about LaMelo. And let me put it this way without disparaging LaMelo. LeVar know what kind of kid he raised. Right. LeVar know what LaMelo is. LaMelo was raised to be like in the old world sense where you are going to be this thing, and that's pretty much it. So like old stonemasons, old blacksmiths, old farm workers, they raise their little boy, you going to be this, and you ain't going to be shit else. Right. That's what his boys are. Like, so they in the business of NBA. And that's hard. Like, I always say it's a 1% of 1%. But if you intentionally groom them, like you going to NBA.
You're going to the NBA. Yeah. There is no plan B or C or anything. Yeah.
Come on. It's not like, well, hopefully you can get there. No. You're going to the NBA. So LeVar did that for his kids, you know what I'm saying? And he knew that it was NBA, not necessarily a bust, but it was like they took every other scenario out their mind. And that's why they all successful. Even LeAngelo, who is still trying to make his way, but he's going to be in there, man. Inside.
Yeah, he's going to be in there. He's going to be in there.
So I'm sorry, that's an effective way, you know what I'm saying, of grooming somebody to be like that in a realm where you are so counted out from a numerical standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's good to see guys who beat the system, because Ben Simmons could have been that. That's the point I'm making. Ben Simmons didn't need LSU. LSU needed Ben Simmons. Right. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, let's be brutal.
Hey man, come on, man. This is grown man talk. When people get a chance to beat the system, bro, beat it, because
beat the hell out of it. Beat the hell out of it. Yep.
You don't need that degree, bro. You know how many general studies graduates we got out here who play sports and can't use that bullshit degree?
Right. Man. That's why I laugh when I hear the education speech crap.
Come on, man.
Like, man, please give me a break. Like, the recruiter's not going around the hood or the rural areas looking for accountants and surgeons and lawyers. So we know what you in the stands looking at.
Come on, man.
You're looking at the dude who runs 4.3 with 40-inch vertical, who got an arm like a rocket, who can catch passes, run routes, block shots, and dunk. That's what you were looking at. So
use your talent to get you where you need to be, man. Yeah. And I'm pro that. I wish, because even the ones, and here's the deal, even the kids who don't get the accolades like that, boosters will buy their jerseys from them. They'll buy their conference ring from them. Right. They'll buy the practice jersey from them. So you telling me if that kid sold his practice jersey, the kid who don't get in, he's ineligible, or the kid who barely plays, get out of here, man. Get out of here. It's weak.
Like we know one NFL player that I won't name, but they won the national championship. And like the soon as he got his opportunity, he got his hands on his jersey, his cleats, his pants. He put them on eBay like immediately. You know why? So he could pay his mama's rent.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, So, now you have a situation where that same type of kid who's got, mom or, single mom or whatever struggling back at home, he can make a little bit of money too on his own likeness and his own talent and send something back home. I never understood what the problem was with that in the first place, other than it's cutting into some of the greedy folks' money at the top.
Yeah, well, because it's self-righteous bullshit. Because you'll pull these kids out the hood and then act like they don't have back home needs as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like these, and you act like once they graduate that they don't go back to this destitute situation where there's not a lot of opportunity. So then you just basically chew them up, get what you can get out of them, and spit them out. That's America. That's fair. But don't get mad when this brother gets empowered that, oh shit, I can maximize on my time, which is my hottest point of my life.
Right. Because that window is real small. Real small
window at best.
Right. At best. That's if you run the table, you don't get injured. If you manage to keep your performance up the entire time, like there's so many hurdles and obstacles just to make it to 4 years. So
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll never demonize a kid who wants to maximize. And I've been pushing for this for a minute because it's just silly. It's silly. Right. You tell me I can't sell my practice jersey to a booster who will buy it from me for $50, $100, $500 because they want to be close to the program like that. And I can't sell it because that's bad faith. What? Exactly. When you can pay my coach, guys, in the Division I level, the worst coaches are at least getting okay. So at the minimum you can make 40. But nobody's really making 40. The real programs, you're making about 100. Minimum you're making about 100, upwards to about $3, $4, $5 million a year. Those are gonna be your guys you see on TV every day. But you gotta understand, 100K earner, you're a 10%, top 10% man in this world, right? Or in this country, rather. Like you're making good ass money to coach a game. So if you got enough to pay a coach $100,000, you saying these players that you're saying this program is not making profit. Oh, it's this pure entity.
Exactly.
The freak out of here, man.
Yeah, like if you ever seen like you mentioned the facilities, man. Like I just think about a middle tier school. Like we covered Tulane game one day, and they had like Supreme buses and like tier 1 equipment. And I'm like, they're not even a big powerhouse program. So just imagine what type of money is involved, which they never share the books, by the way. But just imagine what type of actual money is involved in some of these top tier programs, man. So I'm happy for these young men. It's about time. It's long overdue. It's great news. They're gonna have it. Like I said, they're gonna have an opportunity to stay home, stay with their program, be able to, take care of mom or dad or whoever's at home. They can drive to come see him now instead of have to scrape money together to, get a plane ticket and maybe see 1 or 2 of his games throughout his college career. So this is a win. And then, like I said, it's going to pull all the other conferences together. They're going to have to, find ways to make themselves marketable. So it's going to force everyone to step their game up. And I think, it's going to make the case for the New Year's to be like, it already is the coup de grace for football every year, but it's going to make more opportunities for there to be legitimate bowl games, not these Arm and Hammer Bacon Soda Bowl or the Captain Crunch Bowl or this other crap that people don't watch. The Turkey Leg Hut Bowl. And it's going to be legitimate bowl games with competitive schools, with good games. Everyone can't compete for the championship, but there'll be a legitimate way to crown a champion. And then also the schools that, are in the lower tiers. Like we long overdue for a HBCU New Year's bowl game. I'm not talking about the Labor Day. I mean what's the one in New Orleans? Not the Labor Day Classic. The Bayou Classic. I'm not talking about the Bayou Classic. I'm talking about a legitimate HBCU bowl game where we take 2 of the best HBCU schools that are conference champions that won their championship, you put them together on New Year's Day and let them play in front of everybody. They already wet the whistle for that. You can just, like you mentioned the ratings earlier. So it's there. This is somebody needs to pull it together and make it happen.
Yeah, it's getting there, man. And I give Prime so much kudos for basically holding. Man, you know what's funny, Rich? When I played ball at Prairie View, man, I was just like, dog, we could promote this shit so much better we could do so much more shit to get people involved. And the HBCU way is mostly just, just do what we do because we our own faction and blah, 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 blah. And I'm glad Prime is coming in like, fuck that.
Right. He's teaching them the business side of it.
Bruh.
It's not just the battle of bands at halftime. It ain't the cookout. It ain't the after parties and none of this other crap. No, we're going to play football, organized sports.
Now, I would say this. That is part of the culture.
Of course,
it is wonderful. But
it's no different than the tailgate experience at some of these, schools. They got their own traditions and things like that. That's cool. But that's not the centerpiece. The centerpiece is the game.
The centerpiece.
That's where it needs to be, on the field.
Yes, bro. In marketing, so Dion had this commercial he did at the car dealership. He's like, "Hey man, this is how I roll out here." Like you have to have that bravado because it's just like anything in life. When you look like you're doing something, whether somebody knows what you're doing or not, like, oh well, I got to see what this guy doing. Like I don't know what he got going, but he look interesting. That's how
he looks credible.
You've been a salesman. You have to appeal to people's their attention span, which is very short. But Dion's doing it right. He's like, hey, yo, when we play, everybody's name need to be on back of the jersey. I was doing hoop at PV, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it matters. It matters because from a branding standpoint, when you meet a standard, it basically gives people, consumers, as it were, like, okay, baseline, this is a reputable product. And I'm glad we got away from Russell Athletics. Sorry, Russell, if y'all want to sponsor me, I'll change my opinion. But when the SWAC got away from the Russell uniforms, you see the quality difference. Russell put like basically rudimentary level athletic apparel on.
Smith jerseys that tear if you sneeze on them.
You know what time it is, man. The design. PV should look like LSU now. I bullshit you not.
Right.
When we switch to Adidas, it's a world of difference. Jackson State got Under Armour. They shit is clean and nice and tight.
Right.
They used to have Nike, clean, nice and tight. That shit matters because visuals matter. People are visual. So I'm glad Dion is doing that because, to your point, if the Big 12 can elevate, U of H and programs like that can elevate to the Big 12. I'm cool with HBCU staying the swag, but you can elevate the brand at the same time.
Elevate the brand of the whole conference, right?
Absolutely, dog.
Push everybody up,
Bro, Charles McClellan is a great commissioner, man, because he was my AD when I was in Prairie View. He started this movement, how PV has went up to where it is now. And one of his pupils was Ashley Robinson, who is the AD at Jackson State University, who brought in Deion Sanders, bro. You put the right minds, you can move mountains, man. So that's all I got to say about that.
McClellan, he's that dude, man. I interviewed him probably close to 10 years ago, back when they first did the Labor Day Classic at the NRG.
Yeah. Charles is a big thinker, man. He's a big thinker. And no disrespect to Dewar Sharp. Dewar Sharp did a good job of maintaining status quo, but Charles came in with the new initiatives. And that's just how he is. That's how he was a friend, man. He's always been that kind of guy, bro.
Right.
Yeah, man. So shout out to Logan, man. Yeah, it's cool you pulling up, man. So, Richard, any closing thoughts about the Big 12 acquisition for peace out?
Like I said, it's exciting times, and for college athletics, period. This is exciting times. Of course, is exciting time for Cougs Nation. So shout out to the Cougs. You know what I'm saying? I know all of y'all at home. It was great to be able to share this with my fellow Cougs fans and Coug haters alike. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? We'll see y'all in the Final Four if you make it. But let's say it's a great time to be a sports fan. It's great that these young men and women, because let's not forget them. Women athletics go with this as well. So it's great to see them to be able to elevate their platform and make money off their likeness and have these opportunities that weren't presented to them before. So just check out this stat. I'm gonna just send a shout out to my man Ross Dellinger, who just shared this with me. The revenue that the University of Houston is going to get from their AAC deal this year is roughly $7 million. Okay. Check out this estimate. Okay. Based on the TV deals with the ESPN and Big 12 network, if they make it to a New Year's bowl game, they're projecting $42.4 million. 42.4. versus 7. I'm gonna drop the mic on that.
Sheesh. Okay.
Yeah,
that go without saying. Yeah, the
Yeah.
important go without saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Rich, before you peace out, man, tell everybody how they can follow you, man, and so they can be with you, bro.
Yeah, definitely follow BTP Sports, on Twitter at BTP Sports, and Instagram at BTP_sports. Somebody copied us. They liked us so much they copied and stole our Twitter handle, our Instagram handle. It's all good. So at BTP_sports, and then Bring the Pain Sports on Facebook. But we got some stuff coming up for y'all too. We just haven't. We're slow on leaking it, but we got some things coming up, and of course, Hoop Jargon is family, so Hoop Jargon is a part of the BTP DNA. So definitely make sure y'all check out that we're gonna be working together and some things as well. So we're gonna continue to do it big and do it strong. So
that's what it is, and man, I'm telling you, man, Rich is the OG, man. He put me on game. I started covering the media back, and he saw something in me when I started my Facebook group, and he introduced me to the media game since about 2014, 2015 range.
Yep.
So I'm as polished as I am doing these streams because y'all see my blooper reel. I put it on there. Y'all look at shit.
You come a long way, man. You couldn't even remember your damn last name.
I couldn't remember my name. I was so nervous. I was just nervous.
My name is Cliff.
Cliff Franks.
Cliff Franks. Cliff. Your mama name you Cliff Franks.
Yeah, man. So people ask me how can you speak so well, I'm like, man, I learned. Like Rich, no, man, the footage is there. I was bad, man, because I was too nervous. I was thinking too far ahead and whatever. So, and I just appreciate Rich for that. And so when this news broke, I saw it in our media channel that we got. Media page on Facebook. I like, all right, Rich, you ready? Rich, like, hell yeah, let's go.
He called me right away. So, but yeah, we got, like I said, we got big things coming up. The Epic Media Studios will be back. For those of y'all that rock with us back in the day, we coming back like a lion. Right now, we prancing upon and pray. We're gonna make our pounce and we're gonna make the announcement accordingly. So
there you
it's
go.
It's coming hard and strong.
And I'm gonna blast you out, Rich, man. I gotta have you on the show regularly, man, and so we can keep
you
going. Sports guru, sports Morpheus, as he calls himself, and he can back it up. He knows everything, sports related. Not more than me. Not just playing. So yeah, man. So man, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Sub to the channel if you have done so already, man. Follow my man BTP Sports. Till next time, y'all. Hoop Jargon, you know what time it is. We out. Peace.
And shout out to Hoop Jargon, man. I'm gonna add you to the crew, man. This crew called Hoop Jargon. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority are all Houston people. So that's
shout out to Hoop Jargon.
Shout out to Hoop Jargon.